What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Abundant Revelations, and this is episode 4 today. I'm joined with Milo.
Howdy.
And I am Josh, and today we've got a few little things to speak about, but I just wanted to ask, how did you find it last time with our guest?
Yeah, it feels a bit empty without him here now.
It does. Poor Lucas was sat here just off screen.
I'm
missing him.
I thought it was a really good podcast.
It was a good episode. Was it the best so far? What do you think?
I don't know. It's definitely up there. I'd say top 3.
Okay. Did you learn anything? Did you learn anything last week? I just took in what you said. Did you learn anything last week? Or?
Yeah, no, 100%. You know, his chat about Romania and his experience out there was very enlightening, and yeah, his story about his back was very
interesting and also quite moving, I think.
100%.
So yeah, if you haven't seen that episode, there'll probably be a card up here somewhere. I think it's this side of the screen. Is that side of the screen. So there'll be a card up here. click it, go watch that, and then come back to us after. But I've got a question to start off, and my question is, we were speaking at church at the weekend. They briefly sort of spoke about what the meaning of people's names are, and how we should all know what the meaning of our name is, because it's just a cool thing to know, right? So I'm curious. The meaning of my name is God is salvation, and my middle name is the gift of God. But what is yours, Milo? So my name's, by the way, that's Joshua, and then Matthew is my middle name. But yeah, what is yours?
Yeah, so I didn't know it up until yesterday, and
Okay.
I went away and I did a bit of researching on Google. And obviously my name's not mentioned as much as Joshua and Matthew in the Bible.
No, my parents weren't very biblical with the family names.
But yes, obviously my first name is Milo, so I looked that up first, and the Hebrew meaning of the name is either favoured or peaceful, which I thought was quite interesting. It is also kind of mentioned in the Bible, just under a different spelling. It's spelled Millo, where mine only has one L. And it was a boundary around the city that King David came in. When he came in, it was like, this is my land now. He built a wall, and they called that wall Milo, so that's now my claim to fame.
That you're a wall.
I'll take that. But obviously, for those who don't know me in real life, or maybe just don't know,
He's none of those things.
My middle name is actually Billy, and that has a bit of a cooler one. It's called a resolute protector, which I'll take that. Which I think is slightly better than being a wall.
So favoured in God and the resolute protector.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that. So it actually does. It kind of links into my next question, actually. So what I wanted to ask, he's about to knock over our little set.
Oh, that's what you spoke
about. I've got to speak about this, but this is
Yeah.
our little set. For some reason, Jesus is like a 10-year-old boy. Don't ask me why he was born this old, but this is how the set was done.
Yeah, this is exactly how.
Maybe we should get a better one, but this is how. Yeah, this is how. Could you imagine giving birth to that? That's mental. Okay, but yeah, so it did link in. Nativity.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
This is going to come out right around the time.
This might even be the Christmas week, I think. It's basing on.
This could come out Boxing Day, isn't it? Well, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year, either or.
Yeah, one of those. But so you said that your name means like you're favoured by God or favoured in God. So I wanted to ask, what's an experience in your life that you really felt God in, or you felt like He answered a prayer or something like that? Let's see how favoured you really are.
Okay. That's a bit of a meatier question than the last one.
It is.
Obviously, I haven't been baptized yet, which means I've not given my testimony. So I do want to keep some of the more high-profile experiences in my life kind of in reserve for that.
Yeah,
but there is one that is still fresh in my mind because it did only happen a week ago or so. Um, but for those of you that didn't know, I have recently been traveling around the world, and
You have.
my latest excavate took me to Iceland, and I went there with my uncle, aunt, grandmother, and granddad. And for those of you that have not been to Iceland or don't know, the weather there is quite unpredictable. It can go from being never warm, but kind of a calm, mild day to being hailstorm snow in quite a matter of minutes. So we decided to walk to a restaurant for dinner one evening, and it was dry as a bone. So we were kind of like, oh, we'll take our kind of nice going out clothes, kind of like like a nice overthrow jacket, kind of a shirt sort of thing. Obviously went to dinner. It was very lovely. It was like the best fish and chips you've ever had because they homegrown sourced. But then after the meal, we all walked outside and it was absolutely bricking it down. And where kind of the other four people that I was with were kind of, oh, it's raining, da da da. I kind of just used that time from it was about 20-minute walk from the restaurant to the hotel. I kind of just put my AirPods in, had my gospel music playing. Oh, one question I'll throw back to you in a minute. I was listening to like Firm Foundation, 10,000 Reasons, all the absolute
banger
classic
tunes,
bangers, and kind of just like sort of like dancing in the rain back, kind of like just being with God and kind of talking to Him, while they were all kind of like just quickly walking like as fast as they can, hood up kind of thing, and where I was just kind of like jigging in the rain.
Chicken in the rain.
And then we got back to the hotel after about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And the entire time, like, I didn't really feel any of like the water. Like, even though like you could clearly tell it was like absolutely lashing it down, and like it was very like windy and not pleasant to be in. I was kind of just like in God's glory and God's grace. And then like we were taking the elevator up to the fifth floor where our hotel room was, and my granddad just turned to me. He was like, "Look at you, you're hardly wet." And I was like, "You know what? Like, you're right. Like, I'm not. Like, kind of like almost God was kind of just like towering over me and just be like, just
He was like your little
watching me.
umbrella. Almost.
Yeah, and like kind of shielding me from like all the elements of the rain. I was like, yeah, no, this was big, but yeah, there was so many things that happened in Iceland that I could just be like, yes, this was absolutely God.
Yeah.
Like again with the weather, we went Northern Lights hunting every day, and we were there for 7 nights or 8 days, and every night the clouds were just so thick that you really couldn't see any of the lights or anything like that. Like you could barely on one of the nights see about like 10 inches in front of you, let alone like anything in the sky. So obviously then like it's frustrating, but it's the weather. You can't control the weather, although we can't, but there's one man that can.
There is one man that can.
So I was just kind of like, God, if it's meant to be, like, let it be. If it's not, then that's absolutely fine. I can go home knowing that it wasn't meant to be. So on the final night, on the 7th night, it was still very cloudy, and I was just remembering and going, yeah, no, like God's not willed it to be, like it is what it is. And I was very close to giving up, but there was something that kept telling me, just like, no, give it another 5, give it another 5. And we waited from about 9 o'clock to about 11 o'clock, and we were about to call it, and then all of a sudden, the clouds just part in like 2 different directions. It was kind of crazy, and then just the sky lit up for a good solid like 15 minutes of just green beaming light of this aurora just dancing around, and it was just I've got some good photos on my phone of it, and I was just like, I was like, no, God willed it to be, because like we could have given up like an hour and 2 hours in and just been like, you know, luck wasn't on our side or something like that. But something in the back of my mind was, I'd credit it to God, because you know, it's just like, you know, give it 5 more, give it 5 more, and then there's just like a little miracle. The cloud just
Yeah.
yeah, and you know, it was a beautiful sight to behold. And I was just like,
Yeah. God's amazing creation.
God is definitely working in Iceland.
Yeah. God's big time in Iceland. So if you're in Iceland right now, what are you doing? Why are you not at church? Come on, man. Do better. But yeah, you said you wanted to ask me something.
Oh, it was just about the songs.
The songs.
Do you have a favorite kind of churchy song? Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be played in church, or maybe it could just be.
Oh, that's a good question. To be fair, I really like Brandon Lake's songs, like pretty much all of them.
Okay.
I think Heartfelt Hallelujah is probably one of my top ones at the moment. But he obviously does praises, which like everyone knows pretty much. I think it's pretty big. That's a pretty big one. Gratitude as well. That one's also a banger. Yeah, I'd probably say Heartfelt Hallelujah is my number one at the moment. But yeah.
Who was the because you went to a men's conference recently, right? And you were telling me that.
Oh, yes. I can't remember the song name. Bear with me. Let me find it. It's in my playlist. Yeah. So Noel Robinson did a song called Breaker of Chains, and he's released it pretty recently, I'm pretty certain. But yeah, we went to like a men's conference with the discipleship group like a month and a bit ago, like sort of early October, maybe like I think it was the 19th, because it was the day before my baptism, wasn't it? Yeah. So yeah, but he played it there, and he was like, "This is a new song I've got coming out," and it was like pretty cool. And it was like, okay, cool stuff. And we did it a few times, and it was in there. That was like top tier vibe. Yeah, he's released it as a live like thing. So who knows? Maybe that was us. I don't think it was, but yeah. But it's a good song. So yeah, big up Noel Robinson. That's all I'm saying.
Big up Noel Robinson.
So that was your question. I have another one written down here.
Ooh, okay.
But it is my final one, so I'm hoping you got some other stuff.
I don't have a question.
This one's quite a juicy one, though, to be fair.
Well, I have a game. Okay.
You have a game. Do you want to do the game first, and then we'll come into the deeper stuff? Let's start off more light.
Okay.
Yeah?
So, for those of you who don't know me, I am a very artsy guy, and Josh kind of messaged me last night, and he was like, "We're recording podcasts tomorrow," and he was like, "We need ideas for segments," and I was like, "You know what? I can go away and brainstorm one." And something that hit me was well, why don't I combine two of my great passions, art and Bible? So what I've done for you, Josh, is I've made a little game.
Oh gosh.
So this game is this quote from the Bible or from a Van Gogh letter?
Oh no.
Okay.
A Van Gogh letter. I have no idea on any of them. So the Bible stuff I should get it.
So yeah, Van Gogh was quite famous for he was quite a philosophical artist, and he kind of said some profound stuff in his time. So can you decipher whether this profound sayings are from the actual Bible or from the Van Gogh man himself?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so I'm going to start off with an easy one that you should probably know. Okay, so the first quote is, "You don't understand now what I am doing, but someday you will."
Oh, why does that? It's the Bible, but that just there's going to be a trick on it. That's definitely the Bible.
Are you looking at him?
Yeah.
You don't understand now what I am doing, but someday you will.
Yeah, that's the Bible.
Okay, you got it right.
Okay, I was gonna say
bonus question. Bonus point if you can guess where it's from.
I think it's probably. Oh wait, actually, no. I think I've read this like recently. It's in the Book of John, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I read this I think I read this yesterday. So I'm gonna say it's John 13, something. John
No,
13.
that is crazy.
Something.
That's all I've
I
got
don't
written.
know.
That's all I've got written down.
Yes,
John
that's why it was.
13.
It was in my head, like quite big.
That's unfortunate. That is
Yes.
unfortunate for my points. You ready for the second one?
I am not ready, but we're gonna go with it anyway.
Okay, so the second one is forget the things that happened in the past. Do not keep on thinking about them.
That is like something God would say, 100%. But I don't think it is. Nah, I feel like God would use better, but like more like big up wording. You know, he would be like,
Would he now?
Nah, it's Van Gogh, bro. It's Van Gogh.
Are you locking that in 100%?
I just think the way that God words things like that, like
Forget
normally,
the things that happened in the past. Do not keep on thinking about them.
yeah, no, like most of the quotes about worry are not like worded like that, unless you've got some dodgy Bible version that I don't know. Like, that is not it. That's Van Gogh.
Okay, so that is actually in the Bible.
Oh no. No.
Went back to back Bibles there. Do you want to take a guess of who might have said that?
What is it? Jesus, probably.
Well,
But
it was in Isaiah 43.
oh wait, hang on. I think I was looking at this earlier. That's bad. I was looking at Isaiah 43. Is that the exact one as well? Because mine's worded different. That's why I was like.
No, I only have the big number. I didn't have the verse number. I didn't. Have
Okay.
I was rushing to get these down.
Yeah, because see, this is what I meant. Like, this is just, I don't know, it just feels more like, you know, when you feel like you're drowning in an ocean of stress, remember your savior walks on water. You know, it feels more like metaphorical and stuff. So I just was like, yeah, that's Van Gogh all day long. But yeah, it makes sense. It does. But yeah.
Okay, you ready for the third one?
I am.
Okay, so you're kind of.
If you do Bible again, you're wronging.
Who knows, man? I might chuck. They all might be Bible.
No, I hope not. It'd be a boring game.
Okay, so the third one is the fishermen know. Oh, sorry, I've already messed that up. The fishermen know that the sea is dangerous and the storm is terrible, but they never found these dangers sufficient enough reason for remaining ashore.
Van Gogh.
Do you want me to read it again?
Van Gogh.
Are you locking that in?
I am
The fishermen
almost
know
dead
that
certain.
the sea is dangerous and the
the
storm
thing is,
terrible.
fishermen get brought up a lot in the Bible,
they
so I
never
know
found
it's
these
like
dangers.
it's definitely one that's tough. But I didn't expect you to come up with one that's this hard. I can't lie. But
Hey man, I told you, Van Gogh's
But
a
there's a
boy of mine.
I saw it the other day. There's some Van Gogh painting by like a doc. So I'm gonna
Is that
say
what you're
that it
basing
is
it on?
Van Gogh. I'm gonna say Van Gogh. He liked these fishermen, and it's him.
You've got it right. It was
Yes.
Van Gogh, yeah. And
Yeah.
I was scrolling through because there's loads of them. I was scrolling through the list of Van Gogh quotes, and I saw Fishman. And I was like, I've got to put this on because
Yeah.
in like the first episode, I kept saying like, "Oh, Josh fish me" and stuff like that.
Fish for
So,
people,
yeah. So I knew there was a big bit of that. So okay, okay, you got 2 out of 3. Okay.
I can't believe I didn't get the second one. The second one was really like tough though, I think. But yeah.
Okay, you ready for the fourth one?
How many is there?
8.
8, okay. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Let's go.
What would life be if we had no courage to attempt anything? Wasn't gonna make it easy for you, Josh. What would life be if we had no courage to attempt anything?
Van Gogh.
Are you locking that in?
Van Gogh.
Oh, he's got it. He's got it. He's got it.
The wording is not biblical enough, I don't think. Just the way that would have been worded in the Bible would just be like, I don't know, it would just be so much. It would be like, don't be discouraged, don't be dismayed, you know, like Joshua 1:9, that sort of thing.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, next one then. This one's a long one. Okay, so you got to bear with me for this. He was rambling when he wrote this. But
He was rambling when he wrote this.
But there are some things. That you cannot be sure of. You must take a chance. If you wait for perfect weather, you will never plant your seed. If you are afraid that every cloud will bring rain, you will never harvest your crops.
Bible.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
That was actually Van Bible.
Van Bible. I knew it.
Okay, the penultimate one. Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay, so this is number 7.
Yeah.
I think you're five from 6 at the moment. So you've only got 1 wrong, which is quite good going because I did make these hard.
You did. They're actually really hard. But yeah.
Okay. You will succeed in whatever you choose to do, and light will shine on the road ahead of you.
Ooh. I think that is a bit of Van Gogh. I can't lie.
Do you want me to read it?
I just think the word road does not feel like something the Bible would use.
You will succeed in whatever you choose to do, and light will shine on the road ahead of you.
Yeah, no, it's Van Gogh. It's definitely Van Gogh.
Ah!
Am I doing? I'm doing well. I'm happy with this. I know my Bible.
He's got that one wrong.
Have I?
Yeah.
Oh, damn! I looked really confident now. Have I actually?
Yeah, and it's actually from one of my favourite books.
Is it Job?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, now
Job
you say
22.
it. Now you say it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's rough. That one's getting cut.
Oh yeah, I saw that one on the list and I was like, yeah, I've got to put that one.
The
down.
word road, it just doesn't feel like it should be in the Bible, like, at all. I don't know why. As soon as you said road, I was like, yeah, no, that's Van Gogh all day long.
Yeah, no, big
that's
up
rough.
Job.
But then Van Gogh wasn't. When was he around? Wasn't
Not
that
too
long after,
ago.
was it?
No, it was kind of like, I don't know. He did that painting there.
He did. He did.
Shout out, Van Gogh.
That's
Right,
that road it was talking about.
that is the road. Oh, I've just realised they don't know what we're talking about.
I'll
It's,
If I
you
take
can't,
it,
you can't move.
I'll put a picture of it on screen if I remember.
You
It's
won't
here.
remember.
It
Right,
probably
final one.
isn't.
Final one. You ready? So what are you now?
This is the last one.
You're
I'm
6
6 from. No, wait, 5 from 7.
at the moment.
If I got 5 from 8 is good anyway, but 6 from 8 I'll be really happy with.
Okay, ready?
I thought they were going to be easier than this.
No. I am seeking, I am striving, I am in it with all my heart.
That might be the hardest one.
I am seeking, I am striving, I am in it with all my heart.
Because that could be like someone like speaking to God about how he's like got God in all his heart and he's like striving for God. But it feels more like something someone would say when they're like striving for success rather than that. So I want to say Van Gogh, and you've done only like 3 Van Gogh ones, I think, and 5 Bible ones or something. So I want to say you probably evened it out as well.
This is a Bible podcast, so
Yeah,
I
true,
might-
but I think you're trying to trick me now. So I'm gonna. Can you read it again?
I am seeking, I am striving, I am in it with all my heart.
It don't feel like Bible to me. It don't.
And you feel what are you looking it on? Are you looking it in?
You looked disappointed.
You looking it in?
Do you know what? Oh no. This is gonna be one of the books in the Bible in like the Old Testament that I haven't read yet, like Samuel or something. Nah, it's Van Gogh. Van Gogh.
That's crazy because Samuel didn't say anything like that. It was I am seeking, I am striving, I am in it with all my heart was Van Gogh. Yeah.
I did think so. I didn't. You almost got me at the end. You almost made me change my mind. I knew
So
it. I knew it.
He ends up finishing on 6 from 8.
6 from 8.
To be fair,
it's quite
it's
good.
not bad because
It's
I
actually
did
very
purposely make
respectable.
it very hard.
If you want to see this return, let us know. It's going to return the next few anyway. But because this won't be out before then. But let us know if it stinks or not, basically. But that was quite fun. I enjoyed that. And I'll take 6 from 8. It's quite impressive, I think. But how many did you get at home?
Oh yeah,
Let us know
play
in
along,
the comments. Play along. But yeah, so did you have anything else like in your book to read out, or do you want me to go with my meaty question now?
No, I've got a few segments for next week's podcast, but
You've got more segment ideas.
yeah, but they're not polished, finalised yet.
Oh, okay. I need to come up with something as well. So my question is right, and it's quite a short question, but the answer should take a while, I reckon.
Okay.
So
you're worrying me now. No,
what makes you believe that Jesus is credible and no one else? So it's quite a lengthy question. I feel like you have to give quite a lot to this, and I've got multiple things. I've had to write down a lot of my stuff because I realised I've got too many reasons. I don't remember half them off my head. But yeah, I'll let you start if you want. But yeah.
That's actually just reminded me of something that you were telling me the other day, which is a little bit branched off, but bear with us. So. Again, this don't know how credible this is, but you were saying you saw, was it on a social media platform, that there was a chalice found.
Oh yeah.
This
the
that's just
is that
reminded me of
the covenant one where Jesus' blood was on it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know when this was from. I think it was the late 1900s, sort of between 85 to 2000. But they found the Ark of the Covenant, and some man found the Ark of the Covenant, but it was underneath the area that Jesus was supposedly crucified, and there was a crack on the Ark of the Covenant, and he didn't think anything of it, and he took it back to his lab and whatever. But then they found a substance on it, and it was red, and it was blood. And yeah, when they went back, they found that there was a crack from where the cross should have been, down to it, where they found it. And when they tested the blood, it only had 24 chromosomes, which means it only had one parent, which means it's Jesus' blood, which I thought was just really intriguing. But yeah,
that's
so,
crazy.
It's crazy stuff.
Crazy.
But yeah,
there's just so much evidence that everything in the Bible happened, and it's just God, how could you not?
Yeah, I think there is obviously not most of it probably hasn't been proven, but there's a lot of things that have, and there's enough there's not really been anything disproven, so there's a lot more reason to believe at least a God exists of some sort, which I think is where I'm at. But then I just think Jesus is he's more credible than the other big religions in my eyes, because I don't know, I think I see a lot about Muhammad and stuff, but in Islam, Jesus is still shown off as a bigger, more important figure almost, with the miracles and stuff that he does. And I think he even he's allowed to give life to a bird, in the way Allah did in the Quran, which I found out the other day, and I was quite intrigued by that because I saw this guy who was debating a Muslim or something. It's just I like watching these things. I don't know, I find it interesting. But yeah, and he was well, how come Muhammad didn't have all these things, but Jesus still did, I just find that's quite intriguing to me. I don't know, because even in their religion, Jesus is still God, and they just don't know it. That's it. Boom. Mic drop.
Not allowed to drop the mics anymore. I got told off after the first episode.
Yeah, you did. But yeah, I find a lot of things. I look at a lot of the other religions too, because I like to be sort of informed and understand why I think mine is the truth. Because I think you can't understand what the truth actually is if you don't have a knowledge of everything, every possibility.
That is literally just what I was thinking. There's nothing more frustrating when people are yeah, no, God's not real. And it's just when you actually start asking them questions, their knowledge is just really limited. They've not even looked into it. They've just gone just straight out. Insane.
No.
If you looked at all the facts and all the pieces of media and text that are out there, and then you sit there and go, yeah, that's not for me, then fair enough. You've been well informed, you've been well educated, and you've come to a conclusion, and that's your conclusion. That's fine. But it's just when everyone goes, oh no, it's not real. It's not. It's just okay, but have you actually researched it? Have you looked into it? And it's oh no, it doesn't really bother me. It's but it's one of the biggest questions in the world.
Yeah, the people that sit there and they're yeah, maybe one day, but it's why not now? Why not now? What if you die tomorrow and then you never knew the answer, and then God's real, and boom, now you're down in the pit.
You're too late.
No one wants that.
Bish, bash,
so
bosh.
If you're one of those people watching now,
relax.
go search it up. No, because I'm all for whatever belief people want, but don't waste your time whilst you're here, because you never know what's after, and if there is something, you could be ruining your chances of, spending that afterlife with God or whatever it is. So it's always worth a look. Have you got anything else that makes you think, Jesus is like the number one, or like?
Well, I can only speak from my experience, but I just feel, as someone who's not only just grown up in a Christian household, because I never really had that growing up, but like, it's just, I am about a billion times more happier having Jesus in my life than when I wasn't. So, if the if the name Jesus holds that much power, like surely there's got to be some significant reasoning behind it. It can't just be, you're now giving your life to this imaginary thing. Oh, wow, you're healed. No, there has to be something behind it. It's just
yeah. Like logically, it doesn't make sense, does it? Really?
And like the thing, like even. Okay, I can't speak for all of humanity because everyone is wired and built differently. But even when I wasn't following Jesus or the Christianity religion, and I would do something that I knew was against the Bible, I'd always still feel that guilt or that regret, because deep down I knew like that's not what I should be doing. So if everyone is built with that, and again, I know not everyone, because some people are wired completely different, and some people don't feel emotions the same as the other people, but a vast majority of people, even if you're not following the Lord and Savior, you still feel that sense of
guilt almost, and
guilt
unease
and just
when you do
unease.
things. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, they were exact words I was looking for. And like I said, it's easy to be like, it is what it is. It's whatever, but at the same time, it's not.
yeah.
I don't know.
No, I get that. So from that, I'm kind of thinking, like, if someone was to come up to you and say, well, why Jesus? Because there's other religions that will start the exact same. So like Judaism and Islam are like the exact same for like the Old Testament parts, and so technically it's the same God, right? If that makes sense, like at that point. So why is Jesus different to Allah and all that, like to you? Because I know, obviously, you briefly mentioned it in the first episode how you dabbled on some of them and stuff. So, yeah.
It just, like I said, it wasn't anything I didn't read something and magically just be fulfilled with happy thoughts and stuff. It was kind of like a kind of God's timing is always right kind of thing. Because like I said, I looked into other religions and for a brief time started following some, but even still, I never felt that, that. Sorry, it's hard to articulate the meaning, but I never felt that connection like I did the first time you sent me that message. Be like, hey, look, I feel like you're struggling. Like, I'm going to church this week. Would you like to come? Like that. Like I said in the first episode, that message came at the exact perfect time for me to be like, yeah, sure. If it maybe came a month earlier, I might have gone, no, thank you, not for me. Or maybe a month later, I might have been in a completely different mindset. But at that time, I was very much down on my knees and being like, I need a savior, and that's what came out of that time. So
yeah.
And then obviously then like I was touching on just a minute ago, then once you start researching it, you can then make up your own mind and be like, okay, yeah, this is credible, or this is baloney. This isn't for me. But for me, it was, Jesus is King. Jesus is 3-in-1 God, and He's the Lord and Savior that came down and died for our sins, and bring us that atonement with God.
Yeah. I think something I thought about as well is like a lot of other religions, like with like the afterlife stuff, it's like about what you've done on earth, like your good works and stuff. And I feel like that's a very like human-made sort of design, because
Yeah.
a lot of them follow that same sort of idea.
You live a good life, you go to heaven.
Yeah, that sort of thing. And I mean, like, to humans, that makes sense, but we create the laws down here, so it's like, what is good? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
how can we really judge what being good is, if that makes sense? And so I just think the way Christianity is, it just, you know, it feels more plausible because it's not something we would have just created, I don't think. So when, you know, you read all this stuff in the Bible, it's like, how would a human have made that up? So, and I think as well, like, the fact that so many people died for their belief, whereas, like, in a lot of the other beliefs, they didn't. It's like, you wouldn't die for something you didn't truly know was right, I don't think. Like,
Have you seen that meme on like I think it was like Instagram. It's like, oh, people sitting down to make Christianity up. And he's like, do you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna create this religion,
yeah.
and then we're gonna die for it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why would you go through that? Like you just said, like, why would you go through that
You
extreme
wouldn't.
lengths just for something that you've quote unquote made up?
Exactly, you wouldn't. Like, all the disciples ended up dying for their belief. Obviously, Paul did as well. Like, I think Judas obviously couldn't take what he'd done so much that he killed himself as well, like, which is crazy, because this is actually an interesting thought I was having this morning. Judas would have probably made it to the heaven had he just repented after what he'd done. But instead he decides to kill himself, meaning he has no chance to do that, so the likelihood is he's probably not in heaven, right? But technically speaking, he could have changed that fate if he'd actually paid attention to what Jesus had been telling him the whole time. Right? And obviously I'm not to judge, maybe he is in heaven, but because, like, you know, it's God's plan for him to be there, so maybe God's like, yeah, you were influential in this, but I highly doubt it, unfortunately. Like, but yeah, it was an interesting little thought, I thought. But yeah, so something I wanted to speak about, actually. I don't know if I might have told you this about the other day when we were at yours, but so the smartest man in the world, he was called Christopher Langan. So he had 210 IQ. I don't know how big that actually is, because I'll be honest, I don't pay attention to IQ levels. But what's like considered a good level of IQ? Like, what's like the average?
I think
Do you
the
know?
average is like 90.
Okay, so that's massive. Like, this man he's smart. He's got a big head. Like, he knows what's going on.
But you gotta remember, most humans are stupid, so it probably brings the average down a little bit. So you're probably aiming for about 110.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Okay,
But
so
yeah, he's almost double that.
but yeah, that's crazy. But basically, he said in an interview, when asked if God exists, he said, this was his like explanation. He said, yes, God does exist, and he said, reality has an identity, and the identity is that as which something exists. When you say the word reality, you're naming an identity. You're identifying something. This, right? Like the earth, the creation, right? And then he goes on to say, in fact, the CTMU, which is obviously, I don't know, some like executive company of some sort, I don't know, but they come up with like the mathematical structures that's needed to build a reality. And yeah, so, but when you come up with that identity and you search for its properties and you build the like preliminary framework for it, yeah, this is complicated. But you start to see, like, through this framework, the deducing properties of the structure, right? Of like reality, and every time they match those of God described in every major religion, and that's the world's smartest man telling you that, which means it's at least worth a thought, at least, even if it's not this religion, the other ones. Do you know what I mean? So I just thought, if the world's smartest man is telling me factually God exists, like, I'll probably take that as like, yeah, okay, I might listen to this man. Like, but yeah, I thought that was interesting. It's quite confusing, but
also on smart people and like disproving and proving Christianity, like everyone uses Charles Darwin to say
Oh yeah, often
To
they do,
say,
don't they? Yeah.
oh, like, look, he's proved evolution's real, so God's not real, and it's just like, you do realize Charles Darwin was a Christian, like.
Yeah, yeah, but
like,
evolution, like as a process, doesn't even disprove anything really,
no, it
because
just
it's just over time things could have changed. Like we're made in God's image, but who knows what God's image actually is? So we might have been slightly different at the start, and now we're not. You know, so like who knows? Like it doesn't change anything. And then Einstein as well. They always do it with him with the Big Bang Theory, but that's actually something I wrote down. So
Okay,
I just want to link it into
nice
this.
little segue.
Basically, Einstein was an atheist, right? Cool, you know, you do you. But when he came up with the Big Bang Theory, obviously, you know, revelation, everyone's like, wow, this is how the world is made, and it likely was. So, you know, props to him. But he actually came to the sort of conclusion that through his Big Bang Theory, God had to exist. And so he started trying to disprove his own theory, trying to prove that God wasn't real. And by the time he died, he was agnostic and believed that God existed, just didn't know which one. So, yeah, it's quite amazing. But obviously his whole theory, which a lot of people use as the reason God doesn't exist, actually proves that there is a creator of some sort as well, which I find... It's quite an amazing one, because I remember a lot of people at primary school when I was back then. I actually remember this. It's really bad, but I don't know why. It always stuck with me when people were like, "Well, God's not real because the Big Bang." And I'm like, "Okay, cool beans. Like,
Cool
don't
beans,
change much." But yeah, so yeah, I thought that was quite a good one. But yeah, I think that is mostly what I've got here.
I've just got an idea for another segment for next week.
Big Bang, oh god.
Write it down, otherwise I'll forget. Alright.
But
stay tuned to find out what it is.
did you even write anything? Oh, you don't have a pen. He lost it in my car before. And his pen's silver, my car's black, like in the inside, so I have no idea how we cannot see it. Like it fell down below your feet and it's just not there. It just teleported. It's gone.
It's my favourite pen as well.
It typed in /TP and it's gone. Like but yeah, I think mostly.
I was gonna say, have we touched on everything on your list?
The resurrection is like one of the only things that could disprove God, and we're 2,000 years later and still no one's disproved it, which is quite crazy in my opinion.
Yeah.
I feel like most things get disproven quite quickly, and the Bible's still around. So
As I said, the thing I love most about the Bible is the amount of like cross references like it has.
yeah,
There is no way you could get over, like, even nowadays, like even with like social media and stuff, you gotta remember that these people were like thousands, hundreds of thousands of miles apart from each other at times.
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
There's no way you're getting about 1,000 people to sit down in a room and go, right, this is the whole lie we're going to tell. You're going to be like a tax man. You're going to be a fisherman. You're going to be an ill woman. You're going to be this person. And Jesus is going to have so many interactions with all of you, and you're all just going to go along with it, all right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's not happening. Like I said, I don't even think you could do that today, where you can just ring someone up and go, like, can you lie for me, please?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, yeah, like, if there was, like, one small little town where, like, Jesus was just, like, here, and you know, everyone in that village was like, oh, yeah, this man's amazing. You could possibly sit there and be like, yeah, but, you know, but he did it in so many different towns. Like, it's like,
yeah, it's crazy.
At what
isn't it?
point do you go, right, hands up, this guy's actually pretty awesome?
And like, I saw this thing the other day where it's like most people who claim to be God are in like a psychiatric like hospital or whatever, right? Like most people are like, this man's crazy, but Jesus' religion, Jesus managed to spread it to 35% of the world, and that's like, what? Like you don't like, you wouldn't believe any random person saying that, but as soon as, you know, this man said it, 35% of the whole world population was like, yeah, that sounds about right. So I think that's mental. So, you know, like I don't reckon most people have ever got like 10 people to even believe they're God, let alone that. So that's mental to me. But yeah, I did have something else in my mind as well. Oh yeah, in the Old Testament, I think it speaks about how when the Messiah comes, he would like sort of bring the whole world together. So it would be like, obviously at the time, like Jews were pretty much the main sort of religion, but it was only people in that area of the world as well. So like most other places, like, I don't know, the Romans had all their like gods and stuff like that, and everyone was separate. And it speaks in the Old Testament about how, yeah, when the Messiah comes, he'll bring the whole world together, and like everyone will believe in the one true God, and all of a sudden there's this religion. The first ever one to spread worldwide was Christianity, and I just find that quite mental.
I did actually want to ask you something before we get started.
Before we get started, 48 minutes in, mate.
How's your week been?
My week,
Yeah,
it's
how's your
been pretty solid. I can't lie. Yeah, work's been pretty decent. So I mean, it's Monday, but yeah, work's been all right today. Going on holiday in 2 weeks with this man himself, and another. Who is it? Whoa, it's God, because God is with us. Hey, but yeah, no, I'm enjoying stuff. How about you? How's life been treating you?
It's been a bit of a roller coaster all week. I've had highs and lows. But yeah, I think overall it's been a really good week. Church service yesterday was amazing.
It was
genuinely
a banger yesterday. Do you want to talk more on that?
Well,
because I know you really enjoy it.
Can I steal the joke?
What joke?
The joke. Can I steal the joke?
Say the joke.
I
I don't know what I've said. What have I said that you're stealing?
Can I say the joke from the service?
Go on.
Yeah. Okay, this is mine. Okay, so I don't know if I can tell it as well as she did. Can we just put a clip of her saying it?
Oh, it's basically Milo wants to tell a joke that started off our service yesterday.
It was a really good joke.
Katie did very well. She always like brings you into the service very well. I remember once she did like a whole thing about like shoes and like slippers or something, like the size of the feet. I think this was when you were away, so I don't know if you'll remember. But she started off talking about stuff like that, and like how her dad or something, every time his slippers got like holes in them, he still would wear them because he didn't want to get rid of them. And it was like, you know, but you got to let go of some things and like give them to God sometimes and stuff. Like I think that's how it kind of went. But yeah, so she brings things in like that, and it's quite like it gets your attention quick, and then you go into the scripture after when everyone's engaged, like so, you know. But this weekend's was. I was just like, where is this going? How is this linking to the Bible? And then he's crackled there, 100%. But yeah. So do you want to tell it, or do you actually want me to put a clip of Katie right now?
Would we get in trouble if we put the clip in? Can we ask? Wait, I'll explain the joke.
Okay, you explain it, and then if it's rubbish and we ask, then
we'll ask, and if she says,
so message her now. No, I'm joking. I won't do it yet.
if she says we can put the joke in, it'll play now. If not,
you've got Milo's rubbish explanation.
I don't think I can do it.
Off you go.
Okay. So there was a European wasp specialist. He's a leading expert in the world. Like there's no one better. Like he is the man to go to if you have any questions about what are European wasps. So he walks into this record store and goes up to the cashier and he says, I would like to buy the second volume of European Wasp Sounds 2024. And the cashier goes, absolutely sir, no problem at all. Let me go and grab it for you. He comes back 10 minutes later and he goes, here we go, I found it. And he was like, would you like to give it a listen to before buying it? And he says, absolutely, I would. That would be amazing. Thank you so much. So the cashier removes it from all its packaging, all its sleeves, and whacks the record on a record player. And he says, right, this is the first song. And he puts the needle on. And the European Wasps expert gets all up in arms. He goes, are you sure this is the right record? Because I've never heard any of these sounds. And the cashier takes a look at the box and goes, yeah, that's definitely the record. And the European wasp expert goes, I've been a European wasp expert for 40 years now, and these definitely not the right sounds. So he's like, oh, I'm sorry you feel this way, sir. Let me play the second track for you. It might change your mind. And so the second track goes on, and the European wasp expert goes, no, this is absolutely preposterous. These are not the right sounds. These sounds are not made by any European wasps ever, because I know, I've been studying them. There's no one better in the world than me. So he's like, oh, I'm really sorry you feel that way, sir. I'll play the third track for you. And the man plays the third track. And the wasp expert is ready to storm out. He goes, are you having a joke with me? Are you having a laugh? And the manager hears all this kerfuffle, and he comes out. He goes, what seems to be the problem here, sir? And he says, I am the European wasp expert of the world, and I would like to buy the second volume of European Wasp Sounds 2024. And the manager says, let me have a look. And he picks up the record. He goes, oh, I can see the problem here. We've been playing the B-side.
It's terrible. It's really bad. It's really bad. But it's really bad. I don't know why he's loving life there. He's loving life.
I went home and told all my friends I can't even lie. That
Did you actually?
Yeah. It was really good. I loved it.
I think it was quite funny at the moment, but when I listen back to it, it's like, no, that was actually terrible. But she did like gain my attention straight away by doing it, and I think she linked on to like sort of
long waits. And
the long wait of like how sometimes it can be worth it, sometimes it's not. And she was like, but this one's worth it, and it was like the long wait of I believe Elizabeth and Zacharias is giving birth to John the Baptist and stuff at the start of Luke.
And then him doubting, and then
and he goes mute and deaf and stuff.
Take your voice away, mate.
Mute even.
Don't believe me, bosh. Of that.
Yeah, it was good. But to be fair, it's something that I've learned that is actually a good way if you like ever want to become like a priest or a pastor or whatever. That's how you should do it, because like sometimes people come into church and like although they're there to listen, like they're a bit switched off because it's early in the morning and it's like they're just about to listen to like half hour 45-minute talk, and it's like sometimes they're just like drifting a little bit. So if you like gain their attention by like some joke or something that's like more, I don't know, modern to today, that might gain people's attention a lot. It's a good way to then get people like into it and like woken up, and then you link it into the Bible and it's like boom. So
bosh.
Whenever you want to become a pastor, Milo, he's turning off.
And that seems to be a good place to end it.
It does. So do you want to do the outro?
Well, I'm going to have to do it into this one.
It can be on that.
Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. Oh wait, we should plug the TikTok, shouldn't we? Abundant Revelations. We're on TikTok. If you want short digestible clips, go over there. We
Links in the description.
Be there or be square. Thank you for tuning into this week on the internet. Oh, I shouldn't do that. That's someone else's podcast. Thank you for watching Abundant Revelations. Goodbye.
Bye.
Au revoir.
See you later. Ciao.